Have you ever felt that, no matter how hard you try to change, something invisible keeps holding you back? You wake up in the morning with good intentions, you study, you work on yourself, you try to improve your life, and yet, like a script written by someone else, everything seems to repeat itself: the same fears, the same failures, the same emotional patterns. It's as if a subtle shadow, rooted deep within your body, silently opposes every attempt at transformation. An ancient burden that doesn't originate with you, but lives through you. Today I want to take you to the heart of a mystery as simple as it is forgotten: the navel, that small point in the center of the body that we all ignore, yet which holds the memory of our most remote origins. An energetic and symbolic portal that connects our current life to a biological, emotional, and spiritual past that isn't always ours. What I'm about to share isn't magic, nor is it superstition. It's a symbolic and psychological practice, but above all, an energetic one that can help you free yourself from those invisible chains you've inherited and perhaps have been carrying with you for generations. Stay with me until the end, because this awareness could open a door that will never close again, the door to your true inner freedom. Before you begin, remember to subscribe to the YouTube channel and leave your precious like. This will help us create new content. Now let's get started. 1. The navel, the first seal of life. The navel is our first connection to life. Before we could even breathe, before we could even see or touch, we were nourished through that spot. From the umbilical cord, we received oxygen, nourishment, but also emotions, hormones, and vibrations from our mother. Every beat of her heart, every breath, every fear or joy are imprinted on our nascent nervous system as primal survival codes. If she was serene, our bodies learned calm. If she was experiencing anxiety or pain, that anxiety became our first emotional language. We didn't choose that language, we inherited it. When the cord is cut, the body separates, but the energetic memory remains. The navel becomes a scar, a seal that holds the story of our first belonging and, at the same time, the gateway to rediscovering freedom from the past. It is not an empty space. It is a gateway that connects the visible and the invisible, matter and memory. 2. The ancient knowledge of the vital center. The most ancient spiritual traditions recognize the power of this point. In yoga, the navel center is called Manipura, the city of gems, the chakra of fire, personal power, and transformation. It is the flame that converts fear into strength, confusion into clarity, dependence into freedom. In Taoism, the navel is the field of the elixir, the point where qi, the life force, gathers. Taoist masters teach that from this center, the entire body can be regenerated, restoring balance to mind, spirit, and matter. Even modern science, in a different language, is rediscovering this truth. Prenatal psychology research shows how maternal stress influences fetal development. Epigenetic studies demonstrate that parents' unprocessed emotions can leave traces in their children's genes, influencing their hormonal, immune, and behavioral systems for decades. The body, therefore, remembers. And the navel is the point where this memory is condensed and made accessible. 3. The invisible chains, the inherited weight. Many of us believe we live our lives independently, yet we often unconsciously repeat our family's stories. Wounds, fears, and patterns are passed down like unwritten legacies. A grandfather who experienced hunger can leave behind an unconscious fear of scarcity. A betrayed mother can pass on to her children a distrust of love. A great-grandfather who lost his homeland or his freedom can instill in his descendants a constant sense of uprootedness. Psychologists call this phenomenon the transgenerational transmission of trauma. Children carry the unfinished business of their ancestors in their unconscious, as if life were inviting them to conclude an unfinished story. Even major collective traumas, wars, famines, migrations, violence leave subtle traces in the family psyche. Anthropologists confirm this. Communities that have experienced shared trauma develop common emotional patterns that are passed down through the centuries. This is why, at times, we feel pain we don't understand or experience cycles that aren't our own. We aren't paying a personal price, but rather carrying on an energetic legacy. 4. How to recognize a repeating script. There are clear signs that you're experiencing an inherited pattern. The first is repetition. Even if you change cities, relationships, or jobs, events always seem to follow the same pattern. You find yourself experiencing the same disappointments, attracting the same dynamics, as if fate were knocking on your door with a message you haven't yet understood. The second sign is disproportionate emotional intensity. Do you ever feel anger, fear, or pain that's greater than the context in which they arise? That emotion might not be part of your personal history, but rather an echo of an ancient trauma. Studies on descendants of Holocaust survivors show that subsequent generations exhibit higher levels of anxiety and hyperreactivity to stress, even without having directly experienced the event. Finally, the body itself speaks. Anxiety localized in the gut, a feeling of tightness in the stomach, or chronic fatigue may be the voice of a silent legacy. Today we know that the gut is a second brain, a place where emotions and unconscious memories are processed. When you learn to listen to your body, you begin to understand that suffering is not a condemnation, but a coded message. And every message has a key to deciphering it. 5. The navel as a portal of liberation. And that key, surprisingly, is found right there, in the navel. That small center is where life began and where, symbolically, it can be reborn. Ancient cultures used practices involving touching and anointing the navel to purify, bless, and protect. These weren't just religious rites, but energetic reharmonization techniques. Today, we can reinterpret them with a new psycho-spiritual awareness. 6. The ritual of oil, salt, and laurel. The three elements that tradition gives us for this purpose are simple but powerful: olive oil, sea salt, and bay leaves. Three ancient symbols, three languages of the soul. Olive oil represents light and healing. In ancient times, it was used to anoint kings and priests, to heal wounds, and to light sacred flames. Applied to the navel, it becomes a message to the body: this space is light, no more pain. Sea salt is the symbol of purification. From east to west, salt has been used to protect, bless, and purify. A pinch on the navel represents detachment from inherited burdens and a declaration of protection for one's vital center. Finally, laurel is the plant of victory and wisdom. In ancient Greece, it crowned victors, poets, and heroes. Applied as an infusion or a symbolic leaf to the navel, it becomes your invisible crown, a proclamation that the past no longer dominates you. These three elements together create an alchemical triad: purification, healing, and triumph. 7. How to perform the practice. Prepare a small mixture: a teaspoon of olive oil, a pinch of sea salt, and a broken bay leaf. Stir slowly, breathing consciously. As you do so, bring a clear, simple, and direct intention to your mind: I free myself from what is not mine. I honor my line, but I choose my freedom. Sit in a quiet place, place one hand on your heart and one on your navel. Breathe. Let the natural rhythm of your breathing bring you back into your body. Apply the blend to your navel in a clockwise circular motion, as if you were rekindling an internal sun. Visualize a door gently closing behind you, a door that once belonged to pain, fear, or guilt. And see a new space of lightness opening before you. If you feel it, say words of liberation: this space is mine. This body is mine. This life is mine. You don't need to repeat it many times. Just once, said with full presence, is enough to rewrite a memory. 8. The symbolic and scientific power of gesture. You may wonder, how can such a simple gesture have so much power? The answer lies in the way the unconscious and the body communicate. Body language is symbolic, not logical. Every conscious gesture is an embodied metaphor that speaks directly to the unconscious, altering the circuits of perception and energy. Modern psychology confirms that rituals, even symbolic ones, create new neural connections. Neuroplasticity allows the brain to reshape itself based on intentional experiences. And epigenetics teaches us that conscious actions, such as meditation or physical practices, can literally alter gene expression, freeing us from inherited traumatic traces. The navel gesture, therefore, is not superstition, it is a declaration of energetic sovereignty. A way of telling the body and the psyche, I choose a new beginning. 9. Reborn in your center. Every time you return to your navel with awareness, you return to the 0 point of your existence. Where life began, it can begin again, but this time by choice, not by inheritance. Freedom does not consist in forgetting the past, but in transforming it into wisdom. When you honor your family line, acknowledging the pain without identifying it as your own, you break the chain. And you yourself become the healed ancestor who bestows upon his descendants a new legacy, that of awareness. Now that you know the symbolic power of your navel, remember, you're not just touching the body, you're touching history. Every time you perform this gesture, you affirm your independence from destinies that don't belong to you. It's an act of love towards yourself, but also towards all those who will come after you. Your navel isn't just a scar. It's an ancient key. Use it with respect, gratitude, and presence. And watch as your life slowly begins to reshape itself. Write in the comments what you feel ready to let go of, and if this message resonated with you, share it. You could be the bridge to healing for someone who still doesn't know where to start. This is Holistic Strategy. Continue walking with me on the journey to awareness, because every step within you is a step towards freedom.